everyone, I am Datu Simonit Bill, and for today's discussion, we are going to tackle about the components of sentences. But before we're going to discuss the main topic, let me just give you the definition of a sentence. Sentence is a word of or group of words that expresses a complete thought. It is an independent clause that contains subject and a verb. It starts with the capital letters and ends up with a full stop, a question mark, or exclamation point. Sentences have two different types or parts, which is the subject and the predicate. Subject is what a sentence is the topic of the sentence. Predicate tells something about the subject and contains the verb. Like for example, Ella enjoys cooking fried chicken for lunch. In this sentence, our subject is Ella and our verb is enjoys and the predicate is enjoys cooking fried chicken for lunch. Example letter B is kind of short, but it also contains a complete thought so that it could be considered as a sentence. You clean the room. Our subject is you, and the verb is clean, and the predicate is clean the room. Last but definitely not the least example, Eric and Mara plant flowers and vegetables in the garden. This kind of sentence is kind of long, but in this time, Eric and Mara is our subject and they are plural. Plant is our verb and plant flowers and vegetables into the garden is the predicate. Next example is kind of short type of sentence, and this kind of sentence proves that it is not needed or it is not really required to make a long sentence that just to make a complete thought. Like for example, fish swims. Our subject is fish and the verb is swims, but swims can also be our predicate. There is one apparent exception to this, the imperative. When someone gives a command, the imperative, they usually do not use a subject. They don't say the subject because it is obvious the subject is you. Like I've said earlier, sentences start with the capital letters and end up with a full stop or a question mark or even an exclamation point. Like for example, people need food and shelter. This sentence starts with a capital letter and ends up with a period. Number 2, how old are you? It starts with a capital letter and ends up with a question mark. And the question mark represents when someone is asking you. And lastly, look out. It starts with a capital letter and ends up with an exclamation point.
Good day everyone, my name is Baishalaha Husna Ipinto and let's move on to the sentence patterns. We have 5 basic sentence patterns. The first one is SIV or subject plus intransitive verb. Subject is a person or a thing that is being discussed or described in a sentence. It is a noun or a pronoun, while intransitive verb is a verb that doesn't require an object. Let's see the examples. The first example is they work. In this sentence, the subject is they and the intransitive verb is work. Second example, Viens dances gracefully. Viens is the subject, dances is the intransitive verb. These sentences do not have an object. The next pattern is STVDO or subject plus transitive verb plus direct object. Transitive verb is a verb that requires an object or receiver of an action, while direct object is the receiver of an action. Let's see the examples. We have the first example is she likes coffee. In this sentence, the subject is she. The transitive verb is likes. And the direct object is coffee. Remember, the direct object answers the question what or whom. For example, what she likes. The answer is coffee. Therefore, coffee is the direct object. Let's move on to the second example. Second example is Marian brought a book. The sentence follows the same pattern. Marian is the subject, brought is the transitive verb, and book is the direct object. What did Marian bring? A book. Therefore, it is the direct object.
Next is S plus TV plus DO plus OC. S is the subject, TV is the transitive verb, DO is the direct object, OC is the complement, object complement. Object complement, it describes or renames or gives information about the object. For example, I found the book interesting. So the subject is the I, the transitive verb is found, and the direct object is the book, and the object complement is the interesting. Object complement describes the direct object, which is book. So the next sentence is they chose Kenna their leader. So the subject is they, transitive verb is chose, and the direct object is Kenna, and the object complement is their leader. Next, we have S plus TV plus IO plus DO. S is the subject, TV is the transitive verb, IO is the indirect object, and DO is the direct object. Indirect object is a noun or pronoun receiving the direct object. For example, Kat made Marian a dress. The subject is Kat, TV is a maid, and IO is Marian, and the DO is the dress. Remember, the indirect object is a noun or pronoun receiving the direct object. Who received a dress? It's Mariam. So indirect object answers the question to whom or for whom. Example, for whom was the dress made? For Marian. Therefore, Marian is the indirect object in the sentence. The next is he gave me flowers and chocolates. He is the subject, gave is the transitive verb, me is the indirect object, and flowers and chocolates is the direct object.
Hi everyone, my name is Winslet Amada and I will talk about the last pattern, which is S plus LV plus SC, which means subject plus linking verb plus subject complement. So the linking verb links the subject and its complement, while the subject complement provides or describes information about the subject, and it can be an adjective or a noun. Here are some examples. First example, she is intelligent. She is the subject, is the linking verb, and intelligent is the subject complement. So subject complement describes the subject she. Second example, I am a teacher. I is the subject, am is the linking verb, and teacher is the subject complement. And it provides the information about the subject complement. The last example, Arnold looks happy. Arnold is the subject and looks is the linking verb. Take note that sensitive verbs such as scent, look, smell, appear, and etc. can be a linking verb. And of course, happy is the subject complement, which describes the subject Arnold.